What's going on, guys? I'm here with the third and final game from the Spear and Shield tournament. This is the matchup, my team versus Perks and Bacchus, the old bastards team. This is, the third game, like I said, of the series. Tied 1-1, obviously. This time, I think Bacchus and Perks picked first. They picked Nervii. We went with the duo of Masazli and Kush. I think it's a really balanced duo because you have the strong cav from Numidia and the obviously unbelievably strong infantry from Kush. They went with Iceni as the last pick, going for a double barbarian, which kind of makes sense because you have Kush up there. You're going to need some strong infantry, and Iceni also has decent slingers. They could be a problem for Kush, helping shoot them up. And then, obviously, you don't have to worry too much about the Numidian cav early on, but you will need some answers from in the late game. So let's get into it and let's see how it goes. Kind of a long wait, but we're here. So, Stefano and I are here. I guess we'll go over our armies first. So, for me, I went a little different from what I consider to be quite a standard army for Numidia. I've gone actually with only 3 Peltists. I tend to bring 4, but here I wanted a bit better infantry presence just because you're facing 2 barbarian factions. But like our Peltists will not be as necessary here as some infantry, so I've only gone with 3 heavy Numidian skirmishers, obviously still quite a strong force. 2 Numidian light infantry, pretty standard. These guys are really good, a little bit better than Celtics, so they will have good success against these factions who don't really have the best cheap infantry, at least nothing compared to the Numidian light infantry. Then I have 4 Desert Legionnaires here. I don't think I have a Desert Cohort. No Desert Cohort here. 4 Desert Legionnaires and 1 Armored Numidian Spearman, so I basically got this guy by trading out one of the Peltists. So these guys will be nice though, as they can really fight well against the cheaper spears. Like they can kill naked spears, spear wielders, that kind of thing. So they'll be quite good. And then up front for Desert Vigiles. Obviously just to hold, go into square, and allow my javelins to do damage. I've got 2 armored Desert Cav. Don't really expect these guys to do too much, but you know, these guys will just be in reserve. And I have 4 armored Numidian Cav, and I put 2 on this flank to help Stefano. The plan here is really just to rush. I mean, that's really all that Kush can do. So we're going to kind of rush on this flank. So let's go over Stefano's Kush army here. He's got 3 armored Desert Cav up front, 1 Kushite Royal Guard. He has, I think, only 3, no, he has 4 Disciples of Epidemic, very nice. He's got 2 Swordsmen over here. He has 3 Kushite Slave Spearmen, which will be very nice with their extra long-range javelins. He also has 2 Kushite Pikes, nice for holding off any rotating infantry, because obviously you do expect that Iceni will send a lot of support. So 2 Kushite Pikes to kind of hold the line. Also can block cab charges against the Epidemics, which is nice. And he also has 1 Nubian Spearman reserve here. Here I'm just dueling with these guys. I'm also sending these cav around the flank because Iceni really doesn't have anything to stop my cav, so I'm going to get some free shots. We can go over the Iceni build really fast. He has 3 Spearband here. He has 1 Levy Free, 4 Britain Slingers here. He has 2 Chosen Spearband. He also has 4 Chosen Swordman. Nope, 3 chosen. I don't even. Oh, he has only. Yeah, he has 2 heroic nobles, 2 chosen swordband, 2 painted ones, and 4 of these veteran riders. You can see all already moving his slings over here to get shots on the Epidemics. Quickly, the Nervii build before we get into the action. 3 Germanic Scout Riders. He has a levy free line with some Spear Brothers here. Looks like 3 Spear Brothers, 1 levy free, extra levy free here. 2 Oathsworn, 2 looks like Fierce Swords, and 2 Celtic Warriors with a Noble Horse Gen, and 4 Celtic Slingers. Or actually, maybe only 3 Celtic Slingers. Yeah, only 3 Celtic Slingers. Anyway, charge is going down here. Nice charge, eliminating this Levy Freeman here. Maybe took a lot of damage for it, though. Not only 4 casualties, it's fine. My Jav Kepper on the flank here, helping the Swordman try to get into this engagement, definitely. Here come the Epidemics, though, trying to roll this line. But you can see a lot of fires going to be incoming here. Here, Perks tried to catch my veteran riders. My guys with the veteran riders definitely don't want to do that because veteran riders really suck. And I should be maybe a bit more aggressive, and then you can see I'm doing that now. I realize, okay, he has so many slingers here, they cannot be allowed to shoot, here, sorry, I gotta... yeah, so I can't allow these slingers to really do so much damage to the Epidemic. You can see already causing casualties, so I'm just gonna go in here and charge. I even shoot those slingers with my javelins, just trying to hold them down. I'm getting good engagements here, though, because you can see my units are in close support, and I'm okay with taking this fight. If I can break through this gap here, that would be good too. Epidemics have charged in now, but you can see as Oathsworn are getting the counter charge. You would like to see Safado cycle here a bit more, because yeah, they'll kill off these guys, but getting counter charged by Oathsworns and Noble Horse here, not good. Meanwhile, my Job Cap broke through the flank. You always want to do this, and you can see he's helping me here, Safado, with his Kushite Royal Guard and these Armored Desert Cav breaking through the flank. And now I actually trapped 2 of his Germanic Scout Riders. It's going to be super good. My Job Cav are also getting over here, and my plan now is to kind of surround Nervii to try to quickly kill them off, but it's not going super well. Over here I'm committing a few of my infantry, but you can see he's getting another charge on the Disciple. This Disciple is super low because it got hit by these slingers. Nice routes here though, at least will hold these guys from firing, because these Armored Desert Cav kind of got in there. But you can see the Heroic Nobles are now supporting. And over here my Job Cav are in nice positions, and now I realize this is open, so I'm going to go for the rear charge here. Try to just break these guys while these Epidemics are still alive, but you can see they're getting absolutely toasted by this Oathsworn because they didn't get the charge on the Oaths. That's always crucial. Here I'm just going in for another charge to help these Epidemics, but this is probably a bit unnecessary. Nice chasing by Perks here, but really you shouldn't be doing this because, as you can see, I just spam attack orders, and now they're going to get Javelin here. And he wants his Veteran Riders alive, remember. We have a lot better Cav, since I have 4 of these Armored Dominion Cav. And you can see if he's already going to lose a couple of Veteran Riders, even just the HP, it's very dangerous. And all of his Veteran Riders are already engaged. Nice charge by me here into here, but these Oathsworn are just tanking it out. Now another Epidemic will come in here and probably do a lot of damage to this Oath. And here the Veteran Riders are actually winning against, well, with support of these Mighty Horse are going to win here. My Job Cap, I'm just saving them. Want them to be kind of fresh, but I should be committing maybe a little bit more infantry. But here I like my engagements here because I'm facing against worse infantry. And so I'm really liking these engagements. Don't want to commit too much here. We broke through, and now I'm just going to commit everything here. This Painted One does get a charge. I was sort of counting on it not getting a charge. But he did at the last minute. And now my Papitos can now come up and shoot up his gen, which is good. I have these Cav in close support to block off this Veteran Rider from getting to our Slingers. And now I told Safado, like, it's fine if you lose more infantry, just keep your Slingers alive, and I'll deal with the Cav, because my Armored Dominion Riders are in good support. He did lose a lot of men on his gen, though, down to 10 men, so this is really bad, because if his general dies, it will be really, really bad for morale here. He does have still 2 Epidemics alive here, and they're going to start to chew up these Oaths. So really, we killed a lot of Nervii, and because of the fast engagement on this flank, it left Iceni pretty exposed, because all of Iceni's Slingers were facing over here. And so now I got some good engagements on Iceni. You can see I'm starting to pound these Heroic Nobles. This General is already lost 20 men, and this Heroic Noble is now engaged with basically just trash, but he's going to get shot in the back by my Papitos. He tried to retreat this Chosen Swordband, but it was kind of a bad idea, although his Spearband will get into my Papitos, but you can see nice rear shots here. Gonna do a shit ton of damage, and this is really good for me because he's only facing really, really trashy units, 1 swordsman here. And another thing is that he's starting to get blobbed up here, and so me and Safado determined that the ideal play here was to just clean up this flank and then surround. And you can see we have my Cav engaged here, and Safado's nicely shooting them, but there are 48 men here, so I'm going to have to commit my Job Cav in melee, which is a bit early, but it's fine because I do have 2 Job Cav that are basically not engaged. 1 here and 1 here, and these guys will be my endgame units, along with my Armored Desert Cav can commit and help out in this fight. Over here, Veteran Riders pretty low, I would say, and yeah, he has a couple of Veteran Riders in here, but they're pretty low overall, and my infantry are starting to break through, and you can see I have a ton of reserves. My Armored Dominion Spears are basically not engaged yet. This unit was completely flanking a Spearband, it's going to win easily. Desert Legionnaires pretty healthy at 70 men. 54, these guys are going to start to lose because these Heroic Nobles come in, but again, 40 deaths on the Heroic Nobles already is really, really good for me. And maybe I've lost already 1 Numidian Legionnaire, which would be unfortunate, but I still have 4 of my 5 infantry. No, I have a full one here, I didn't even see that. So yeah, all my Numidian Legionnaires are completely alive. This one, I do retreat nicely. So yeah, I'm keeping my infantry alive for the late game, shooting up his important units. You can see I'm cycling here, and this Armored Dominion Spear hasn't even engaged yet. These Chosen Swordband are full, but they're going to start to get surrounded here. This Numidian Light Infantry is also full, so I can recycle it in here, get a lot of Javelins. Here, yeah, I cycled in my Numidian Cav, charged them in, and then cycled in this Armored Desert Cav to allow these guys to escape, because I need to save Safado's Slingers here, so I'm going to get a nice charge. And these Veteran Riders are so low that my Numidian Cav can easily kill them off. Although they get a weird charge here, which is kind of unfortunate. But this unit is going to go save the unit over here. These Slingers at least. Nice shots still from my Slingers. Again, shooting into this blob where there's a square is really, really good for me. And here, these painted ones are going to go down to my Desert Legionnaire. They will do good damage, though. Although it seems like they were getting a charge on these swordsmen, so they didn't get a great charge. But they will still probably kill like 20 or 30 men on this Desert Legionnaire, which was completely full health, so that's a decent exchange. Here we can see I saw this Chosen Swordbands isolated, surrounded by like 3 units, so I just charged in my Numidian Light Infantry, and my Jav Cav, and I have full Armored Desert Cav just flanking around. And again, they are quite surrounded here, so it's going to be crucial for us to just keep this surround going. Don't let their slingers escape, because their slingers escape, they will have a lot of ammo left, and they can shoot up low HP units and kite these Peltas probably. Here, Nervii cleaned up, and with the help of these Iceni units, again a full Iceni Chosen Spearband here, which would be annoying to deal with. This Heroic Noble still at 90 men, not bad. But also the General here, and 2 Oath Swords. So they have a lot of units here that we need to kite. And that might be difficult, depending on how much cav I can save. So let's go back into normal speed. You can see I'm shifting everything over here now because I realize this fight is definitely in our favor, big time. The only issue is these slingers, so we're gonna have to pressure the slings. But once we do that, we should be good. And again, I haven't even engaged these units yet, keeping them full health so that they can eventually pressure these slingers out. And if they're full health, they're gonna be much better at that. Here my Peltas are moving in, and again, these Oathsworn are gonna be really easy to kill for my Numidian cav because they're just so good on the charge. But again, I mean, these guys are very, very low HP, right? So the charge are going to be very effective. And but this Noble Horse and these Iceni Chosen Spearbands might be difficult. However, just in time, I think these units flanked around and they're starting to pressure these slingers. So it forced a lot of his units back. And now look at this continuity. If he had rushed everything forward here, maybe he's able to kill these slingers. It would have been tough, but at least he kills a lot of my cav. I mean, this Chosen Spearband would be a great support unit. He's got units on the flank here, and his Oathsworn obviously will be good in melee. But I forced his general back. Gonna get a nice charge on him too. These Numidian cav kind of got toasted, but that's okay. I'm gonna pressure these slingers, force all these units to come over, and now you can see this unit breaks off combat here and starts to move forward. And now this armored Numidian spearman will easily finish this unit off. And now it gonna go for a rear charge here, but I can also pressure the slingers. And now this Desert Vigile is completely free to pressure the slingers over here. So a lot of pressure gonna come in, forcing a lot of units away from the main fights that we want to win. Now again, this Mighty Horse, which used to have support, now no longer has any support. My Jav Cav will easily finish it off. And here, this Peltas is going to go into melee, just hold off against these Oathsworn to kill off these cav. This Desert Legionnaire is 74 men. It's going to be a tough fight. This Chosen Spearman can probably engage. You would get nice flank shots here. But the problem is I'm going to win this blob, and then his slingers are going to be really, really pressured. So he doesn't want to take this fight. He wants to regroup. But what this is doing is it's forcing his slingers to not shoot the blobs. And if they were able to shoot these blobs, they would cause massive casualties. Meanwhile, we're also going to win over here because he no longer has the right support. We know this Chosen Spearman is not in support anymore. And neither is the Gen Cav here, which is only down to 35 men. So it's still pretty healthy, but I do have a lot of javelins in this vicinity, so maybe it's better to save it. So I finish off this Mighty Horse, and now I can just kite here and charge these guys to death. You can see I bring over this Armored Desert Cav from the rear, 43 men. I did lose one of my Jav Cav, I think, but it's not a big deal. I still have 3 Jav Cav. They're at 21, 14, and 38, so not the best strength, but he doesn't have many units either. Here, this was not a good charge here. He loses 15 men on this Noble Horse from that charge, just against some Numidian Light Infantry. Sure, you want to finish them off, but I don't think the Gen died yet, but he will, I think, here. Yeah, so he dies in this engagement. Completely waste this Noble Horse because I had a Javelin Volley, and I also clean up this blob at the same time. So things are starting to look definitely a bit better for us, but we don't have the advantage still because all of these slingers, if you can stabilize with so much spear support, will be tough to kill. I don't have much cav left, and Safado only has 2 slingers, so now we're kiting, and I want to call for us to just rest here. But this, as you can see, this Oathsworn is going to cause actually a massive amount of problems for us. I didn't realize it was there for a second, so now I don't get a charge. He pops Headhunt, so now it's not going to route, and it's a big blob. So now if he can clean up these units and start firing into this blob, it's going to be a complete mess for us. And this Oathsworn will actually just do massive damage. It's still 50 men. It's definitely not low. Here I killed off this Fierce Sword very easily, because they were just, easy one charge. Now I'm going to finish off this Oathsworn. Shouldn't have wasted those javelins, but I will. Anyway, I thought this unit was over, so I'm like, okay, let's just disengage. Let's just leave like a couple units fighting here. But it actually doesn't route, so now I'm just losing men for no reason. And this is really bad, because these 2 units should be just engaging while the rest fall back, but now I'm just losing tons of men. Now the Vigile is going to route. I'm trying just to rest my units here. These guys are active, but some of my units are not, so... Well, I guess everything is actually pretty rested, so it's not bad. Our stamina is definitely pretty good. these units are definitely tired. Like, they should be resting. These guys are going to be crucial for the end game because they're the only units that can really chase down these slingers. So I really should be resting them. And here I guess I will do so, but really should have been completely rested. My general and everything charges and kills off his O-Swarm, but again, taking a lot of damage from this blob. And now I realize, okay, we can't just sit here. We're going to have to go forward, but we do have a good stamina advantage. So, as you can see, tired on this Chosen Spear Band. His general's very tired. These slingers are fresh, but the spears are winded and tired. So we have really good fatigue advantage. Let's press our advantage and pressure. You can see my cow is flanking behind him. What they have to do now is they're going to have to protect their slingers from my cow, and they don't have any javelins left on these units, which is unfortunate. If they had 2 javelin volleys, this is probably a win, because unless I can bait the javelins out. But they also only have a few units to defend their front now, and some of them are pretty trash. Like this Levy Freeman on this flank is going to get under a lot of pressure. While I have basically full armored Numidian Spear, half strength Desert Legionnaire, pretty low units here, but my Peltas are full strength pretty much, and they have javelins left. So obviously our idea here is to just focus the Briton Gen. If we can kill him, these slingers will be easier out. So we're running in here, getting nice flank shots as well. He does sort of turn though. First I charge in this Desert Vigile just to break the charge of this Chosen Spear Band, since my Desert Vigile is not really a problem, it's not really dangerous to anything here. Now this Armored Numidian Spear is going to charge him with the support of this Numidian Light Infantry. We really want to break this unit. We're not still concerned about breaking the general, because we're going to shoot it a lot, right? Now I'm splitting up my cav here, pressuring. I have this full Armored Numidian Spearman. Oh, maybe I actually will just let this Chosen Spear Band win. This is actually maybe even better. I'm just going to run in here with this Armored Numidian Spear, because all these spears have no chance against it. So he's going to run in here. Maybe it gets a little bit of a touch here, which shouldn't happen. Yeah, so I'm just going to run past it. And now I get this Peltas in first, which is going to stop these guys from firing. Just cyclically charging with my cav. You can see I'm even charging units behind here so that some of the guys will break through. They're just tying down these units. Now the Armored Numidian Spearman breaks through. Did their gen just die? No, General's still alive here, doing pretty well. I battle rhythm probably. Yeah, second win battle rhythm this infantry. And now we're just chasing down. My general's going to tie down this unit, since these Peltas will do good in melee. And now this unit is getting flank shots on this general. Very nice. My cav is just charging in. This Armored Numidian Spearman is charging everything. And so it looks like we will actually break down these Peltas these slingers. They are going to rout. The general just died, and that's obviously going to be crucial. Looks like these guys did have a few javelins left, but not enough. I charge into this unit, help my general out, and then I'm just going to charge in here. And we will end up taking the series 2-1, but wow, what a close series. I mean, really, really close, because all these games came down to the wire, pretty much. Well, honestly, their game, their victory was probably the least close of all the games, and yeah, they won pretty decisively. But we managed to clutch this game, even though we were in a little bit of a bad spot after Cephalo's infantry kind of died. We ended up being able to kite out. My Numidian guys were just so good in the late game, and that's sort of Numidia's biggest strength, is their late game play. Yep, and you can see that ended up with me getting a really massive number of kills. Yeah, but we can just go over the kills quickly. Good kills on my Peltist, who mostly survived. Yeah. These guys did good kills. One Armored Desert Cav, not so good really. It was sacrificed kind of early on to save some of the Cephalo's units, which is fine. This Armored Desert Cav got into some slingers and survived to the late game, so that's obviously really useful. Armored Numidian Cav didn't do too great because I had to end up using them a bit prematurely to save some of Cephalo's units and like kill off the left flank there where the Oath Sword and the Fierce Swords were. But in the end, that's fine. One of them did really well with 135 kills and half the unit remaining. One unit did really, really poorly. That's unfortunate, but whatever. And then these two guys with 100 and 168 kills did fine. My infantry was really, really strong, which is really good to see. I invested a little bit more in my infantry by having one less Peltas, and it really paid off because you can see these Armored Numidian Spears were absolute beasts. Didn't even use them, saved them till the late game, and then they were just unstoppable pretty much, tearing through like weak spears and stuff. My infantry did really well considering they're up against Heroic Nobles and Chosen Swordband, who are probably better than Desert Legionnaires. Well, the Heroic Nobles obviously are. They did all really well. They all got a chevron, all over 100 kills except for this guy who went 98, which is really nice. My Desert Vigiles were really good in this battle. They went into square a lot and allowed my Peltas to get extra kills. One unit was alive in the late game with half the unit remaining, which is really great. And all of them got decent kills, like 74, 67, 39. Those are all good kills. 12 not so much, but that's fine. My Desert Numidian Light Infantry did really, really well as well. 100 kills, 142 kills there. They had one chevron at the start, so they got an extra chevron each. Not bad. And they really did good damage. I mean, these guys are a really good infantry unit that I think Numidia should definitely be considering taking, especially if you're going to go with 4 Armored Numidian Cav. You won't have as much money for like 5 or like 4 Desert Legionnaires in the Desert Cohort, but for the price of 1 of these Desert Legionnaires, you can get 2 of these Light Infantry for 380, and they really pound, so yeah, definitely a good unit there. As for Sfado here, Gen Cav did quite well, but he kind of got killed early on. You want to see Kush keeping the Gen alive maybe a little bit longer, but he was trying to bust through and route everything, so I kind of understand using it aggressively. Kushite Pikes, I didn't even see what happened to them. Like, it looks like they kind of got murked, though, and routed here with, probably when the Gen died. They don't have the best morale. I didn't even see them go into phalanx, but I forget. I wasn't really looking at it. And now the Epidemics was really the target of Perks and Bacchus for the beginning of the game, and they did quite a good amount of damage to them. You can see 2 kills here is absolutely unforgivable for an Epidemic. I mean, right, they were doing the main counter to Epidemics, which is shooting them. So you can't really blame Safado. He rushed in, and 3 of them got into the engagements. But again, I don't think he cycled too much, and Bacchus did a good job of leaving his Oathsworn in reserve, and then charging them in once the Epidemics already used up their charge like a Celtic or something. So they didn't do great, but whatever. Swordsman, trash, they did kind of trash. Nice kills on the Kushite Slave Spears. Always a valuable unit, these guys. And the Slingers were end up being really, really crucial for us as we shot the General in the late game. And obviously they were just giving us a means of continuing the battle by keeping them alive. And they shot up Cav and generally got very good kills. Can't blame them there. And the Armored Desert Cav did okay. You know, whatever. They're kind of a fodder unit, and we were rushing, so you don't expect your Cav to do too well, but hey, they did fine. On the side of Bacchus and Perks, it looks like for Bacchus here, 142 kills on the Noble Horse was fine, but again, he did kind of waste it at the end. You would like to see that unit just kept in reserve, because your General with only 30 men and a lot of HP damage is very, very vulnerable to Javelins, and that's what ended up happening when it got killed by a Numidian Light Infantry Javelin Volley. I killed 2 of his Germanic Scout Riders, like, pretty much at the start of the battle, which was very nice for us, and that's the power of the Numidian Jav Cav, obviously. The other one did good though, 65 kills, got into some slingers and routed them. His Mighty Horse did okay. They were up against inferior cavalry, pretty much, so they were able to do that pretty well, and they ended up getting grinded down. Harder to use Cav when there's 4 Armored Numidian Cav on the field, and my Jav Cav ended up killing these Cav, so that's good. Slingers kind of got rushed down pretty fast, but hey, 60 and 40 kills is acceptable for sure. You know, especially when those targets are Epidemics, which some of them were. Spear Brothers did okay, but they kind of were the first line, so they got rushed down by Epidemics, so not much to say there. Levy Freeman, same thing. Celtic, same thing. As for his Fierce... Oh, yeah, that's actually a naked. Not like Celtic there. As for his Fierce Swords, they did really well, considering that, you know, they're kind of a low armor unit, and they're against Kush, they did very well. And the Oathsworn did excellent. 240, 230 kills against 4 Epidemics is really, really great. Nakeds did fine, 40 kills, but again, they were kind of up against way superior infantry, so might be expected. And for Perks, finally, Heroic Noble Gen did quite well, survived until the late game and everything. Can't really blame him there. Other Heroic Noble did good, and remember, we were sniping this unit, and it still got 127 kills, but you can see no Chevron, so a lot of those kills were on my squared Vigiles, which is like the ideal target for my Peltists to do damage to, so that's fine. Chosen Spearman did okay. One got tied up with my Desert Legionnaire at the beginning of the battle, so that's obviously not a good engagement, but the other one was helping Bacchus on the right, and it did, well, they were right anyway, and it did good damage. Spearband are definitely an upgrade on Levy Free, but I'm not sure why you'd take these guys over Levy Free, really. But anyway, they did fine. They have good armor, I think, and better melee stats. Painted ones are cool. They did well, 60 and 77 kills. Not against the highest value targets, but they still did good damage anyway. Chosen Swordband kind of got murked, and I'm really surprised to see how poorly they did. I mean, they were definitely outnumbered and getting cycled by my infantry, but still they got really no kills, so that's not good. And these Slingers did really, really well. I mean, there's no doubting that. The Slingers did great. They had a lot of ammo left, but they just were routed at the end of the game. And they shot down Epidemics and stuff, so that's really good. And these Veteran Riders did surprisingly well. That being said, like, my Job Cav wasn't really targeting them, and so they were kind of free to do more damage, but they were operating kind of in the center of the battlefield, getting some nice charges and stuff, and 3 chevrons hit. It's pretty decent there. And yeah, okay, so that's the kills. Really great series. I think that was the best series we've played so far in the tournament, so it was really fun and close and intense, all that jazz. So yep, hopefully we'll have some more good battles in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.